How's it going, everybody? This is Novakast back with another video for you guys. And with this video, right now I'm kind of going through, I wanted to do just classic horror films or scary films for Halloween. But to an extent, I think I should bring attention to, some of the stuff that comes out recently as well, at least attempt to. So with this one, it's odd because after watching a few of the films already from this franchise, I will say I've been always intrigued, but also not particularly fond of the fact that in certain situations they've kind of retconned certain aspects of it. But anyway, without beating around the bush, Hellraiser. This is the reboot, apparently, that was released on Hulu, which honestly is pretty cool. Which I found out that apparently Prey, another film that is based on another kind of franchise, is on here too. So I may check that out, and that may be the next review. We'll see. But anyways, looking at IMDb, it was directed by David Bruckner, which, by the way, I do have IMDb literally right in front of me. Ben Collins, Luke Pachowski, and David S. Goyer, starring Odessa Ozean. Hopefully I said that correctly. Jamie Clayton, Adam Phayn, and many others. Now, this is really, really interesting, and I'm gonna say, for what it is, 10 out of 10. I'm giving my rating now, 10 out of 10. I really freaking enjoyed this. And I think that, I don't know if that's how that says about me, but to an extent, as with this being such a dark film, as well as, what is presented is, again, I don't know what that says about me. I guess to an extent I should talk about just the main premise, because for those who don't know what Hellraiser is, Hellraiser is a film, or at least a franchise, where basically encompassing everything that happens is this box, this puzzle box. And ultimately, those who open the puzzle box summon the Cenobites and are sent to their dimension to suffer agonizing pain and pleasure. And as it's described by the priest, I'm calling, because again, the writer hated calling the character Pinhead. I'm calling them the priest in this, and I think they are referenced as the priest in this film, which, good on them. To an extent, with everything, the priest explains that they are explorers of sensation and pleasure, and I think that is made very clear, and to an extent in films, or at least for the franchise, they try to keep away from the whole religion thing, but sort of started divulging into it, which was not great. And to an extent, it was better that they were just kind of setting up as them just being some kind of, creature from another dimension, and not exactly from hell. But anyway, going further, this doesn't follow any of the original characters of the original story. This doesn't. This is something completely different. It follows, to a degree, a new cast of characters, which, by the way, when it came down to some of the main character, I should say, who suffers from drug addiction and is kind of going through, I guess, trying to get clean. It reminded me a little bit of the reboot for Evil Dead, which kind of makes sense. I mean, in this aspect, where when things start kind of going crazy and when they come across the box, she starts seeing things, and ultimately is at first kind of questioning whether or not it's real and what's happening is actually happening. they do some really cool, like, some new stuff with the box. Whereas originally, somebody just opens up the box and the Cenobites come in. In this version, there's layers to it. It's implied in this version that this particular box has 6 configurations, and each configuration needs a sacrifice. And once that sacrifice is paid, then the next configuration opens up until it gets to the Leviathan configuration, by which, to an extent, they are given their deepest desire. But at the same time, that might be questionable. And I say this because knowing the Cenobites, knowing their dark nature, you can't always trust, or you can't trust what they say completely or at face value. If anything, it's kind of set up as a monkey's paw, and I can kind of go into that in a little bit if I need to, but to an extent, I do want to just try to keep this as a spoiler-free review. Characters are interesting to an extent for the time that we see them, although to a degree, I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I'm waiting for like each and every one of them to die. Because, you know, somebody's gonna open the box. Each one of them are gonna open up the box some way or another, and they're gonna die. There is one interesting thing that's kind of implied, that anybody's fair game is a sacrifice. I don't want to go into too far, but there is a point where a Cenobite gets stabbed with the cube, or basically the cube, and to a degree, they are sacrificed, and it's set up as a suitable sacrifice for the Cenobites, which is really odd. Which, I mean, honestly, it's cool at the same time, because it shows that, you know, it's not just, you know, people on Earth that are fair game for this puzzle box. It's anything and anyone, for that matter. All in all, the story is good. Not much to talk about music besides the score, which is very close to the original score, which I freaking loved. I love the score for the original movie. Characters, for the time that they are on screen, are enjoyable to a degree. I like the setup of, like, the main protagonist, kind of going through rehab, and then, you know, kind of setting up where at first they're kind of questioning what's going on, or what they're doing, and this and that. So, all in all, really good. Final thing, I think I've already said it, 10 out of 10. I enjoyed this film. To an extent, the director, writers, everybody in this movie did an excellent job. It was fun. It was well, not fun for the characters, but to an extent, it was an interesting experience. Oh, and another thing I should point out is, before I end this, is the designs of the Cenobites, which, geez, just wow. These things are menacing looking, and it might just be me, but looking at it, like, each and every one of them are close to being a female figure, at least for the new cast of Cenobites. I could be wrong on that. There were a couple that looked like that they were more of a male figure, but the majority of them were female figures, including the priest. So, all in all, they did a good job with this. So, yeah, 10 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys enjoy it as well if you guys end up watching it. It's on Hulu, so go watch it if you want. So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below. as well as check out the daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Novakast signing off. Have a good one. Take care, and I'll see you guys next video.